I'm just trying to figure all that stuff out. Actually, okay, we're live, so I'm gonna.
We could change subject.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I'm gonna grab the link here and throw it in the Slack.
So I picked up Blasphemous for the Switch, and I'm kind of loving it. It's hard as hell, though.
What is it now? Is it like a roguelike thing?
But yeah, it's a Metroidvania.
Okay. Yeah, I dig that.
Mark's actually the one that tipped me off to it, but it's more like Dark Souls. It's like that kind of difficulty. You got to learn how to block shots and stuff like that. This is weird. I'm not used to seeing myself at this angle.
It's definitely like it's got a very 90s like compressed vibe to it, but I like the angle. The angle's the angle's very like I'm in a morning show studio and I set up this extra camera.
They don't do it now. They changed the rules. When I first started at WGU, they sent me that webcam, and I had to use this webcam to take exams.
Oh, to like prove you weren't cheating or something?
Yeah, but now they stopped sending out webcams. They let you use your own, I guess.
Interesting. Oh, that was the Wretched. That wasn't cool. Whatever I gotta do.
Watched Bill and Ted 3 last Friday. That is good stuff.
Yeah?
Do you have any nostalgic connection to the first two?
Yeah. I mean, they're not like my favorite things in the world, but they're cool. And I love... There are a few things I love more than... like 2020 Keanu Reeves just seems like a delightful person.
Yeah.
I like.
Wait till you see the gal they got playing his daughter in the movie, though. She like nailed all his mannerisms and everything.
And then the other one, it's Samara Weaving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was good too. They did a really good job with the movie. I was impressed.
He seems delightful. That Keanu Reeves there.
Yeah.
It's a good trailer we want to do tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I need to take time and do more, but it's just like it's really tedious.
You got any horror westerns in there, like Bone Tomahawk?
Yeah, it's good. No, it's just like it's tedious editing, but it's also like you got to find them. You got to find good like 30-second trailers that work without video.
Yeah. So you don't have to cut them up.
It's gonna be a while before I get to it again, but
yeah. So you got your plate full.
My plate is slightly full right now. Yes. That is an understatement.
They confirmed this week I'm not going back to the office before the end of the year.
Yeah, they're just being real non-committal with us. I mean, I'm fine being remote.
Yeah, I'm used to it. I'm digging it.
It's kind of annoying sometimes, but I mean, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't mind being like part-time in the office, but I don't necessarily need the stress of like being around people like that either, like working.
Yeah, they had. They told us when we go back, we won't be going back to a regular work week either. So we'll be like 2 days in and a day out.
Yeah, like an AB kind of thing.
Yeah, because like half the staff will go in on Monday, Tuesday. Everybody's out Wednesday so they can clean, and then the other half come into the office Thursday, Friday, which I can live with. It's a good balance interaction for me.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty extroverted, so I need a little bit of...
I mean, even I do, dude. That's the thing. John.
What's up, you butts?
Sick hat, bro. Are you like an extra in a Vanilla Ice video or something?
The problem is, watch, I had it the right way.
What's happening?
No.
I worry
You put that back.
It's too much. It's too much shade on my face. I want people to be able to see this.
You put it back the way it was.
You should pull it down further. Yeah, no.
You got to turn it to the side a little bit.
Like further.
I got a little. Yeah.
You're a hair snarls. Jesus Christ.
Every time,
crazy.
Joe, when you lean back, you actually do that effect where you like
You
disappear.
do the
and
what was that?
the
What was
I
that
didn't
movie we
realize
just
I
did?
still had
Host. You do the host.
yeah.
The picture. There you go.
Mm. No, it's good. Just leave it. That's
Joe,
fine.
can we get that?
Yeah.
Can we get that Disneyland picture of you back there with Puff the Magic Dragon? That's what I would really like to see.
Yeah,
Oh,
the guy from Epcot.
I don't know if it'll be big enough, but I'd like to try.
I can see if I can find. His name is the Dreamfinder.
Oh,
That's
who? The guy or the
a
dragon?
little. That's a little child touchy. If you
The guy or the dragon?
Well,
No, the dragon's Figment, obviously.
yeah.
Oh, I
It's
thought it
from-
was Puff. Okay, I have no idea what this thing is then.
No, it's from Epcot.
Yeah.
There's no.
I went to Disney once when I was 4 years old, dude. I don't know what's there.
I mean, I've never been to the pyramids, but I know what they are.
Yes, same thing. 10th wonder of the world, Epcot Center.
Has
Number one in
the,
my
like,
heart.
has that guy ever been in like a thing? Like, has he ever had his moment
Like
in a
prison?
Disney production?
John, if you'd like, I can send you his book
Good fucking
because I've read
Christ.
it.
No, thank you.
And no, he is not actually. So, well, no, that's not true. I mean, he was all over their promotion. So when Epcot first opened,
Here's
the
your-
idea was that I can hear that was that there would be no like Mickey Mouse or anything in the parks. So it was
Yeah.
all just him and Figment. So he was in like all their promotion, like their opening day videos. Like he was all over the place.
Wait, so that's like the Epcot, like, mascot?
essentially.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
did not
the
know that.
little dragon Figment is like the Epcot mascot. Yeah.
Does he do
But,
like a
like,
real
then-
ventriloquist thing when he talks, or is he just like talking?
He did actually. I mean, he was like full on. Like so, he was in like the ride, and then outside they had three guys that kind of like three different guys who all dressed up the same, that like rotated as like your meet and greet with the Dreamfinder. But like he was the one guy who wrote the book was like the main one that did like all like the original promotions and stuff.
In the meantime, you got young Joe walking around Epcot Center to people. I'm your dream finder.
Dude, I was all about that ride.
What do we do? Anything I need to know? Oh, I got an email from Andy. Let me just grab it. No fan mail, but I did get something.
No, next week are we doing owners? Are we locked in on that?
I think we should. That looks
What is that?
relevant.
That's the thing I had.
Yeah. Andy had also. I think Casey got the. I mean,
just gotta
we
hit
can
that-
get it if you.
I gotta hit the lady
email
up
me.
again. She seemed all for it, but then I kind of ghosted her for a couple days, so I just gotta get back to her.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I'm thinking of ending things releases like this Friday too.
Oh, so I know you guys are gonna make fun of me for even saying this, but it was a New York Times critic pick, which like gets me a little,
I've heard
turgid.
nothing but good things so far, and it's Charlie Kaufman, so it's pretty
Yeah, I
artsy
mean,
fartsy for us.
I'm interested. I'm halfway through the book, although they read it for the book club and nobody
seems like everyone
liked it.
hated it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested. I'm halfway through it, and I'm like, I get why people didn't like it, and everybody said, well, at least the beginning was good. So I'm curious on like how bad it gets.
Yeah, I didn't get that far into it. More out of distractedness than anything I didn't like.
Yeah, like I'm 120 pages in, and they just finished the ride to like his parents' house where they're going. It's just
Oh.
a lot of car ride. Although the only version they had at the library was the large print one, so I could be on like page 12 of like the actual version.
Was there a new Sophistical episode out?
They did one like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now.
Shut-
On-
It was not that long ago. Are you serious?
Yeah, man.
Jesus
Time
Christ.
flies when you're having fun,
Yeah, something
I can
like that.
tell you. Stand by.
I don't know who's having fun.
It was on the 24th. So, like, yeah, over 2 weeks.
No. that's
Project Power. It's like a superhero movie on Netflix, I
not-
guess.
That is
Whoa.
not.
Oh, that new one.
that-
Jamie Foxx. It's got Eric Spoy, JLG. JGL.
Oh, JGL, nice.
Yeah.
Like some
you guys talking
JGL.
about?
Joe, don't act like you don't know. Okay.
No, I don't know who that is. Who is that person?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, okay. I get it.
He's a delightful sprite of a man.
I told you my sourdough starter is Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
You did say that.
Yeah.
It's true.
Still proud of it.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I'm rolling here. I'm just gonna give it a minute. Make sure we're good.
Hey, before we go live,
We are
can we
live.
pick
We
a
are
time
live.
for this?
We are
Well,
live.
whatever. Can we pick a time for this like Halloween online get together you want to have?
Is that what it is? You want to have? Is that how it is?
Oh, well, this was your idea. Like
yeah.
I'm all
Okay.
for.
Well, I did.
Like,
Wait, I'm sorry. Had you prompted me to pick a time that I hadn't done?
only 3 times.
Well, what about you? Did not. Are you serious?
No, 100%. John, you got me here.
Okay. Well,
there were questions.
I'm a
for
little
sure.
distracted.
Queries.
Okay. What about 9 Eastern? Because then that gives like Central people some extra time to like hop on.
Yeah, I think
And
it's a
West
good
Coast
call.
people, I
And-
don't know what kind of life they're living. I can't commit
Well,
to
still,
that.
I mean, that's still what 6 West, so that's not awful for them.
Yeah, I feel like that's just they're used to doing everything at that time.
All right, nice. There we go.
All right.
Mary was literally messaging me today.
I apologize,
said,
Joe.
I said this is all Eric's fault. So we're shutting it down.
I got my costume now. Pretty excited.
Ooh. What? What is it?
Let us be surprised. No, no,
no,
don't-
no.
let's not
You
get
want to
into
be
this.
surprised.
Are we doing costumes for this time?
I am. Well, I thought. I
Woo.
mean, that's part of the idea. I thought it'd be fun if we did. You guys don't have to. Casey,
I was
I
just
know
gonna
you
put
just
a
have.
stocking
I don't know
on
any of the
over my head,
plans, so I don't really.
Well,
No,
we're,
what's
There
going
aren't
on.
any.
yeah, that's the
There are
thing.
no
It's
plans.
Casey. It's whatever
Good to
your
know.
imagination. It's whatever your imagination can make of it. I thought it'd
Yeah.
be fun if we did like a costume contest or something. I just don't know what that looks like.
You have to. Everybody like goes away from their computer and has to come back with a costume.
I just like do a little sachet.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
We could do what Whitney likes to do, and we could all wear fancy dresses.
Yes, I suppose we.
Who's to say I don't do that already?
Okay, I'm ready. The name. Hold on, I need to write the name of this movie down on this piece of this notepad over here.
It's not so
It's
complicated.
the
but
it's
okay.
the Pale Door.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Pale Door.
I know I'm just a little scatterbrained. Okay.
You
Ooh,
laughed, but I was getting ready to shout out the pale horse.
Yeah.
I always
It is the-
remember the Pale Door, and then I think there's no way that can be the name of this movie. It's got to be something else.
Wait, it is
and
the
then I
Pale
look it up.
Door, right, and not the Pale Horse.
It's the Pale Door. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a reference to a Poe poem.
Yes.
Shut up,
Poem.
John.
Poe poem.
You're so cool, John.
Yep.
How'd you
Poopy poem.
get to be
You're
so
welcome.
Poopy poem. It's a reference to a poopy poem.
cool? All right, I'm ready. Stand by.
Okay.
Welcome to Bloody Good Horror.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and tonight we will be reviewing The Pale Door. It's like a door that's white, like John. Joining me tonight, first up, from Chicago, Illinois, wearing the Mets hat? I was getting confused by
Yeah.
the colors. Yeah.
How do they work?
Please welcome Joe to
Colors.
the show.
Yeah.
Did you say my name? I
Please
missed it.
welcome Joe.
Oh, all
to the
right.
show.
I wish you guys could hear me singing the intro music, like, because honestly, it's a lot better than the actual music. Like, bam, 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 jiggle, 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 jiggle. Maybe 600. You let me sing all of the music for this show.
Deal.
All right.
Yeah.
Deal. Yeah. Next up on the show from Indiana, please welcome Casey.
Hi, everybody.
And is it time, John, to out where you are? I don't even remember. You're gonna have to tell me.
Yeah, we. I mean, I've never said that we can. Yeah, that was like a thing that
It's
you
the
created. In
you're
your
on the
mind.
you're on the Duke you're on the Duke / Kennedy compound in Maryland. Is that
Yeah.
right?
They combined powers. Duke, the university, and then the Kennedy family, presumably.
Kenny Bunkport, Maine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Camp David.
I'm in Maryland, Eric. I
Yeah.
now live in Maryland.
Nice.
John, that's like our old shirt, right?
That's
Yeah,
it.
man.
That was we did the it's the white. Stand up, John. Should give us a show.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
a white and it's got the the tritone where it blends from black to red or whatever. It's kind of cool.
I've seen you wear this a lot, and I have like serious question. How is there not disgusting pit stains in that shirt?
That's a great
Like,
question.
it's-
Yeah, it's a good question.
I mean, I don't wear it to do shit where I'm getting super
No,
sweaty.
John,
doesn't
that's
matter.
not how
Like,
normal.
literally,
I
That's,
was retired.
that's
like
not
a
how normal
decade
people's
ago.
bodies work. I understand you can't grow
No.
hair or sweat, but
I,
No, I mean, I
I
sweat a
buy
good
a
bit,
white
but-
T-shirt, like in the bag, it'll start to get pit stains like near me. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. I don't even have to have it on.
no, it's
You
honestly
should see a doctor. I mean,
it's kind of my problem with those white shirts and why I never wore them, even though I like the design.
Yeah. No, this thing has held up remarkably well.
Amazing.
I actually would have said it was not that comfortable of a shirt for the first 5 to 7 years.
Oh, once you get into like
Yeah.
that 10-year,
It's just like
yeah.
a
Yeah,
fine
it's
wine. Yeah.
I have a Ramones shirt that I've had since 1996, and it is disgusting, but it is the most comfortable shirt I own, and I refuse to throw it out.
Nice.
That's fair.
I'm
Okay.
getting there with this BGH shirt.
I mean, that one's not that
That's
old.
only
Dude.
a few years
It's
old,
like
right?
4 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty worn in and comfy.
He's got a pit stain problem. What do you got to say about that, Joe? Come on.
I still have my Oddville shirt that they gave me when I was on the
Wow.
show that I still wear.
Oh, you got to frame that thing, dude.
Yeah, it's equally disgusting. Although it's gray, so it's not like
Mm.
you can't see the pit stain.
Gray's a little better if it's like a dark gray, like a what do they
Mhm.
call that?
Yeah.
Heather. I don't know. what
Well,
it is.
for the 5 people that are still
Yeah.
listening to this podcast,
this is where we're doing this
hail
like
the Lord.
this is like throwback Bloody Good Horror. This is what the intros to our shows used
Yeah.
to sound like.
So, what is your favorite flavor of deodorant?
Yeah.
Yeah, John, what deodorant do you use that you're not getting pit stains?
Joe, we can take this offline. I'm gonna get you.
Here's the
all
thing:
kinds of
it's quarantine. It's not like there's new commuters listening to the show. We're just giving the OG listeners what they really crave right now.
This is literally this is important information that people should be listening to. I get rashes a lot, so I have to use like hypoallergenic deodorant, John. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to help me, but like you could be helping others.
Oh, so you can't wear like an antiperspirant? Is that what's happening?
No, yeah,
Oh, okay.
like all those ones that say like clinical on it, like that's the only thing I can wear.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
Listen,
sensitive skin.
We've discussed my thinking around consumer packaged goods products in the past.
We
I have used the same deodorant since high school.
That's
It
weird.
is Speed Stick Original.
No, dude. What?
and,
Dude, do you even understand how advanced deodorant technology has become since then? You're just
Well-
putting that disgusting like gel shit. Like no, dude.
Eh,
No.
Oh
works great.
God, John.
Never failed me. I get very upset when
You've
they change
never-
the package.
you've
It's
never
like, why are you
once-
changing the package.
You've never
It's been
once
great
thought to
for
yourself, you
years.
know what? New year, new me. I need a new smell. You've never tried to reinvent
Yeah.
yourself, John?
Legit, I have never ever
Oh.
once had that. thought.
Wow.
John,
I wake up every morning. I'm like,
You're fucking
same
blowing
great
my
smell
mind
every
right
morning.
now, John.
I say this in the nicest way possible, John, but like hearing that, you're trash. You're a complete like just pile of trash.
It's not even that. I
Oh,
just like
man.
I just have so many questions about your life now.
Yeah. Like you're
No,
just
I-
like a disgusting like middle school teenager pile of trash.
Okay, I'm not exactly following where Joe's
again,
going.
I've said this before. I don't want to think about my deodorant anymore. Like literally the
No.
least amount that I can think. You've already made me think more about deodorant in the
Yeah.
last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think
And
you
I
need
wanna think
to,
about it
frankly.
I'm busting your balls, but honestly, I wore the same for 20 years, and then all of a sudden I started breaking out with rashes, and now I had to change. But it was a tough
I mean,
move
I
on.
would do the same thing. Like if I started
Yeah.
getting rashes.
Sometimes
I live in fear that they're going to change the formula.
sometimes I
and then
just
I'll have
wake
to
up
think
and I'm
about
Oh,
like,
it's a fucking nightmare.
sometimes I just wake up and I'm like, who am I today? Maybe I want to smell different. You never
No,
thought that,
I-
huh?
it.
Definitely.
Definitely.
The show's
not.
token
Wow.
large guy. I
Um,
find what works well and stick with it.
Yeah, I'm busting John's balls, but like I find something, I stick with it.
You guys are
I've
blowing
had
my
the same
mind right
Taco
now.
Bell order for 30 years. Like,
See,
Do you
I
guys-
saved
do you
it
guys all
up
listen to
cheap
this?
enough,
Do you
Eric,
guys-
for the beard oil?
Do you guys all listen to the same and actually know the answer from Joe? Do you guys all listen to the same music from high school still?
No, that's totally different.
Is
It's
it?
not,
Because I
no.
feel like it's kind of a
Weird change.
pathological thing.
Yeah. No, I put energy into like what I'm listening to, what I'm reading, what I'm watching, but what I put under my arms, you know, who gives a shit?
I'm sure your wife is
I
delighted.
would not wear deodorant if I didn't smell pretty
Oh,
badly. But
I definitely
John,
go
nobody
days where
would.
I'm
That's
like,
the whole
why
fuck-
bother?
yeah,
That's the whole
Especially
point, John.
now, like, what's the?
Nobody wears it for fun.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
no. I agree.
But it's
These
not
days,
good
I'm
for
only
you.
putting it.
It's
Yeah,
not-
I'm only putting it on if I'm going out to mix around in public.
Okay.
Like deodorant is like the Valentine's Day of like grooming products. Like it's not good for you. You shouldn't be using it, but society says you have to.
Exactly. Here we are.
All right.
All right, we've resolved
I'm
this.
in a
This is good.
goddamn asylum right now. Okay, Joe, please let us know what we are drinking tonight.
Beer guts.
Pale Door. It's a movie about a couple of cowpokes, and a train robbery goes wrong, and they end up stuck in a brothel with some witchy stuff. And in honor of that, I picked a beer from the good folks at 18th Street Brewery. That's out in Casey's neck of the woods, Hammond, Indiana. I believe they also have a brew pub in Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana. And the beer I picked from them is their Temporal Purgatory, John. Yeah,
Mhm.
thanks. And just to tie in a little more, this is a pale ale, John.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was wondering if you were going to make a connection here, but
Yeah. Well, Purgatory, like the guys are stuck in this brothel. Time stops. I kind of, put that together. Anywho, 18th Street Brewery puts out some amazing, amazing beers. I want to say like in the last 5-10 years, they've really kind of gotten like a lot of recognition for the stuff they're doing, especially here in the Midwest. Like people are big fans. This one is great. Kind of a straightforward pale ale. So I've done a ton of IPAs, which is really just kind of like a bulked up version of a pale ale. But this one, definitely you get like a lot of those hops, but it's not so sort of, punch you in the face type over the top that you can't taste anything else. Very smooth, easy drinking, but still, you get that like hot backbone that kids go gaga for. So overall, I'm a really big fan of this. I'm a big fan of everything that they do. Their website is 18thstreetbrewery.com. And sorry, I didn't mention this one comes in at 5.9% alcohol, or just about 6. So, a little bit up there, but you're not going anywhere. So what the hell's the difference at this point? And yeah, definitely, if you can get it at your neck of the woods, definitely check it out, and make the trip to the brewery too, because they're good people.
Okay. Thank you for that,
Yeah.
Joe. All right, guys, let's do it. Let's take a quick break and talk about the Pale Door.
This is it, Senator. Your big break in TV. Up the prime time. Main feature.
%, had to look at it again before I said it. Hey, John.
we're going to get you a sign. This is we'll print it out,
Mm.
kind of post it above your computer each week.
Yeah, could we do that? Or like
I mean, we probably should have.
what we
Really
need-
professionalize this
What
what we
operation.
need is like a Wi-Fi like LED thing that one of you guys has control over. Like I need you to update it every week, John.
Pay attention.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
And just flashes in front of me.
I feel like that could go sideways.
I
on me.
literally just watched this movie too. If that tells you anything.
Yeah.
John, you
Eric.
look like an extra from Vanilla Ice video tonight with that backwards hat.
Did they ever have hair this?
Like you're on,
Gorgeous.
like
Like,
you're
that's
on,
really the
you're on
question.
A1A on like a '90s crotch rocket,
Mhm.
ripping donuts.
I thought about you this week because Conan O'Brien was talking about how he has not cut his hair either, and like he's just letting it go crazy like you. And he started wearing like sweatbands and stuff. I don't know if you want to look into that, John.
No, I have some sweatbands. I've actually bought 3 different style of sweatband because I'm trying to figure out what's going to work for me running wise. This week was the first time where I was in meetings at work and my hair was like legit falling in my eyes, and I'm just like, this
You're
is
just doing
fucked. Like
these.
I got to figure something
Just
out
doing
here.
this.
Like
I would
just
like
go get a haircut. Like it's not that
Yeah,
big a
you could.
deal.
no, I really want to ride this out. I really want to see where this goes.
It's kind of become like a thing now, Joe.
Yeah,
I
of
can't
course, of
I can't
course.
let it go that easy. So
Yeah. all right.
we'll see.
Might I suggest pigtails? Just think about it. I'd like
Oh.
to see what that looks like.
I could do it. I could
I know-
100%.
I'm looking at you. I know
I
you
can
could.
almost get the full pony going.
Yeah.
That's a
maybe
big head.
Or like
Maybe
a
like a high pony, John.
like a
That'd
man
be-
bun. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's possible.
Let's make it happen.
Suzanne
John-
might puts me on the spot.
Just think of
but
the
that's
Halloween costume
Where's
possibilities.
she gonna go, John? Where are any of us gonna go?
fair. It's a fair point.
I got the casual backhanded comment from the wife today. She's looking in the room. She's like, "We all need haircuts, don't we?"
Who is this we you speak of?
Exactly.
I don't know, man. Cutting my hair however I want. Not have any problems over here. All right, guys. John, why don't you tell me about the pale door?
Well, do you want a word or
Yeah,
do we just?
yes.
I mean, we can power through this.
Please
thing. That's
bring
fine.
us the word of the day.
Eric, today's word. I'm not even 100% sure how to pronounce this. I
Mm.
believe it's etiolated.
I can
Etiolated.
guarantee that isn't the
I don't.
pronunciation.
That
no.
word makes me uncomfortable. What does that mean?
Etiolatted. Etiolated. It means, and I learned this today because this is a word I did not know, of a plant, typically, pale or drawn out due to lack of light. It can also mean, more generically, having lost vigor or substance. Feeble.
It's heavy,
Oh,
dude.
John. Hits a little close to home
I
for
was,
this.
I was gonna say that's some heavy quarantine-related shit right there.
Look, I had some other synonyms for pale, and I felt like this at least felt like more effort was being put in. So, here we are. Comes to us. It's funny. The origin here is literally the origin is I've never seen this before. The English. It says English, etiolate. It's like, yeah, of course it came from fucking English. Like, that's not helpful at all. So yeah, there you go. It's an English word apparently. So
Okay, what does that have to do with this movie, John?
etiolated. It means pale. The door in this movie is pale, or
Is
there
there a
like
door?
I think it's more of a metaphor or
Right.
a sort of an analogy they're trying to draw. I
Great.
actually,
Well, you've really inspired me tonight with this word pick, John. Do you want to tell me about what the movie's about?
Yeah, so Pale Door. This is a Western horror film. Comes to us from Aaron B. Kuntz. I will shout out at the very top, and maybe we'll mention it again at the end. Aaron B. Kuntz, did a interview with our very own Jason, which you can find at bloodygoodhorror.com.
Yes, he
Uh,
did.
Pretty good. I mean, I read through it. Very nice. He's a thoughtful guy, and that comes through in the film in some ways. But yeah, the
I
general.
don't care for the way you say his last name, John. I'll be honest. It makes me
Can
uncomfortable.
we say it again? Go ahead.
Aaron B. Kuntz.
Yeah, you lean into it and you're like way over pronouncing the O.
Yeah.
Like your
Oh, interesting.
your
I
mouth
thought
is
the
like
problem was
rounding
with
around
K.
the O.
Yeah. It sounds.
And you
a
do
little
this, like you
sexual.
dip your head up when you say it.
Kuntz.
Yeah.
Kuntz.
Mhm.
Kuntz.
Now you're just
Aaron,
incapable
like
of
the
saying it
movies.
normal.
So Kuntz, if anyone is familiar with, so he's directed a couple other things. He participated in Scare Package, which I think there's been a little bit of talk of.
Joe's favorite movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
Uh, but yeah, this is probably his biggest feature in terms of release and so on and so forth. So the general plot, Joe sort of gave it. You have two brothers, sort of the main characters, Jake and Duncan. Jake is the younger brother, Duncan is the older brother. We see very early on that their parents are killed, and so Duncan essentially raises Jake. Duncan becomes a bandit, an outlaw. And he's sort of a wanted man across the West. It's not, I can't even remember if they say exactly where this movie takes place. But yeah, essentially he gets the gang together, the Dalton gang they're called, and they go and rob a train that they know is coming through that has precious cargo. One of their gang members sort of tips them off. And when they open the box that they've taken from this train, a girl comes out. And that is a surprise. They are somewhat annoyed. And the main guy, Duncan, the sort of leader of the gang, he's also been pretty badly wounded. So the girl that
seems to hang around for a while.
well, yeah,
a long while, but we'll get to it.
we can talk about it.
There it is, Joe.
So basically, the girl, this woman that they take out of the box, tells them like, "Oh, come back to my town. I was kidnapped from this town, and come back, and then we're gonna like fix you up. It's like the only town nearby. It's the only way he's gonna survive."
Okay, John.
So
Pause.
yeah. Yes.
Joe, can we talk about this new picture that's behind
No.
you? Can I
Yeah.
just seriously ask,
I knew what you were laughing at, so I was trying to
how
not look at it. Just to be
how did a pasty white kid from upstate New York look that much like Kim Jong Un when he was a kid?
That's a valid question. A lot of hot pockets, and a lot of what were those coupon books that we used to get? Entertainment books for buy one get
That's
one
not
free
even what I'm
sandwiches
talking
at
about, Joe. It's like the glasses and the smile and the haircut. It's like fucking dead on.
I was fat and happy. That's
You're
that's how
not, but
you
that's
get
not even
that.
what I'm talking about, Joe. Look at your face.
Yeah, I see it.
That's like what he did in photo. Like same
elated.
glasses. Like this is
Yeah,
crazy.
well,
It's crazy. I'm
it was
sorry.
a different
I'm
time.
sorry, John. Carry on.
All right, let's bring it back to Pale Door. So, okay, the gang now, and look, we'll just say it up front. There is a lot of fucking plot in this movie, so
Oh,
I'm gonna try to keep this brief. Basically, they get to this town. They are taken to a brothel. The brothel is run by this sort of head brothel lady. Her name is Maria, played by Laura Walters. There's a
Madam.
lot of.
Do you know what
I think
she's
is the word
in?
you're looking for.
Do you know-
brothel lady?
Do you know what she is in? That
Well, she was in Big Love.
no. Well,
famously.
more importantly, John, and more famously, she was in Boogie Nights.
Oh well, yeah, she was also in Magnolia. She's like I guess,
Yeah.
P.T. Anderson person.
she's been some things.
Yeah. I mean, this movie has a lot. We can come back to it. There's a lot of sort of character actors and sort of folks people will recognize in this movie. Yeah. So they get to this brothel. They are wooed by the women there, and then sort of overnight, they are attacked because the women have all transformed into horrible witches, and the rest of the movie essentially becomes cowboys versus witches.
I like that.
But
That's what they should have called this movie.
Well, and it would have been more fun if it was just straight up cowboys versus witches. There is just a lot of explanations and sort of backstory that gets unwound in the second and third acts of this movie, which, like, I honestly, we should get into some of it because there were sequences that were so
The
outrageous.
third act was like, yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
But that's the setup. I mean, and you know, there's like there's some great gore sequences. There's some kind of wackiness. It kind of winds its way through a lot of different. There's times where I think it's intentionally funny. There's times where it's like very.
Oh yeah, Noah
Sacri-
Segan, is that his name? Like I'm pretty sure he thinks he's in a comedy.
Which one is he?
He's the guy from Dead Girl.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah,
we've done so
okay.
much more with him, but that's always what I go back to.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. I mean, a couple. Well, and some of the other guys. So the guy who plays Duncan is, a pretty well-known.
He was
comedic
on
actor.
Happy Endings.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think
He's
is
been on
what.
a ton of
And he's
TV.
currently on not TJ Hooker, the other one that's in Hawaii. Magnum
Oh.
PI.
Yeah, Magnum. Yeah, the remake. Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay.
We can cover the rest as we go, I would say.
Joe.
Not a fan. So we didn't really email much about this, but John and I both watched it last week when we were gonna do it, and we're kind of IMing back and forth. This movie's rough. Like it is. I don't know. I think it's because we've had a string of decent movies, and even if we didn't like fully like them, they've been well made. This felt very cheap.
Yeah.
Like even down to you get to the brothel, and I think I am John saying like, did they film this at like one of those Texas Roadhouse like
Dude.
steakhouses that you like stop at?
Yes.
Like everything looked very sort of crisp and clean and new. Like they just set this up or found this to film in the movie. So it didn't really have like an actual Old West feel.
I'm really
which-
glad I'm not the only person who had that literal exact same reaction to like all the sets
was
and the
like
and the
it-
costumes.
The town looked like it was brand new. The costumes looked like they were brand new. It was like it just didn't have that feel that you get in most westerns. And yeah, I don't even know where to begin as far as like the story. John, I think, is spot on. Like some of the gore is pretty interesting, but like that amps up for about 2 minutes, and then you cut away to like a 20-minute info dump with like a couple of the characters.
multiple times.
So many, to the point where honestly I started to like lose interest and kind of daze in and out of watching this thing. But overall, I had some issues.
Casey.
I'm kind of right there with Joe. There's parts of this movie I liked. I like the cast, stuff like that. I thought the monster witches, once we get to that point, is cool. But like Joe was saying, you've already spent 20 minutes listening to them talk to you about what's going on in this world. and then monster witches show up, and you think, oh, this is cool, and then they stop and start talking again for another 20 minutes. So it has some rough spots for sure. There are scenes in here that are well put together. I think the acting wise is for the most part all pretty good. I like seeing a lot of those familiar faces. And I was looking through the cast list before we started watching this, and I saw Laura Walters. Got confused, and the only reason I know the other actress's name is Melora is because of Yo Gabba Gabba, but I was disappointed to find out that we didn't have Jan Levinson in this movie.
I know, literally the only other Melora that I'm familiar with.
Exactly. So, but yeah, that's about where I'm at.
John.
I really wanted to like this movie.
I mean,
like everything
it has.
you love, John. Like,
Yeah.
It has moments too. Like it does have
No,
little
yeah,
moments
yeah.
where it shines.
Joe gives me a hard time because I'm real hot on horror westerns. It's just sort of like a sweet spot for me.
I literally did not give you a hard time. I just said like this looks like John's sweet spot. Like I was
alright.
excited for you.
Joe, sometimes I can't tell when you're busting my balls or not.
I
so
get that.
Same,
That's
dude.
on me. I
Same.
understand.
let's leave that where it is. But I think, look, if someone told you like, hey, the premise of a movie is that a bunch of outlaws get trapped in a town and they realize it's like controlled by witches, I'm ready to sign up for that movie. I don't want to say this is a worst version of that movie possible, but it is like not a good version of that movie. I would lay like 80% of it on the script, which is just really bloated. You know, we've kind of made references. I will tell you the flashback. So like Joe, as Joe mentioned, we were pinging about it a little bit, and he pinged me about a couple things where he was like, I can't believe X just happened. And then like, I would be like, oh yeah, I like completely forgot about that. The one that I can't remember if we talked about or not is the fact that they explain the presence of these witches in the Old West through some backstory where they originally came from Salem, and they were tracked there.
The good
by
men of
Cotton
Salem have
Mather
come to this
himself.
village.
But Cotton Mather, like the real Cotton Mather,
Yeah.
presumably, was alive and went to the Old West. Because this is the thing I was struggling with, is like how the time frame of Old West movies is usually like 1830, 1840 to like 1870, 1880. But like witches and like witch trials back, like it just like didn't overlap. So
to be fair, she actually said she'd been there for 200 years since then.
No, totally. And that's what I'm saying. So then the premise is people in like the 1600s came like across.
If there was anybody
Dude,
out there.
I didn't
Like,
even
the whole
I didn't
thing,
give
there's a
this like
scene of
you're
Cotton Mather burning this witch.
like
in
you're
this
right.
town.
I gave this zero thought while watching it. Like I just
Well,
accepted.
I gave it like they very much like pointed out that this guy came down from Salem. Like he might as well have just looked directly.
Yeah,
in
he's
the
like
camera
these
and
good
said, like,
gentlemen from Salem came down to blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
No, but I think he even says it's Cotton Mather. Like doesn't
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
John,
100%.
John, there are so many more problems in this movie. You got to keep going.
No, I know, but like that to me, like it's so ridiculous. Now look, maybe that was meant to be funny or something, but like the rest of the movie is played pretty straight. The other thing, and we haven't really talked about it, so the main character is this his name is Jake in the movie, Devin Druid. So Devin Druid is like pretty big name, I guess, as like a teen actor. He was like the main character in 13 Reasons Why.
Oh yeah, that dude. He was in Don't Breathe too, right? I think.
I don't know that that's the main kid in 13 Reasons Why.
Maybe
Oh, that's who I'm
it's-
thinking when you say that is the main
Casey's a
kid.
fan, huh? All right.
It says main role. Maybe that's just like he's one of the main. I don't know. In any event, he is not good. Like
No.
some of it is the writing. Some of it, like
No, this kid is very bad, and the writing is not helping him.
it's definitely not helping him. But like I was just the fact
Honestly-
that they tried to hang a movie on that kid, to me, I was like, this is.
I
crazy.
think it's largely he's kind of miscast. I
Yeah.
feel like. I don't know. So
Well, do we even want to talk about the fact that like there's a whole subplot of him being a gay teen?
Oh my God.
That's what I was.
wait a
not
minute,
clear
but I
on.
didn't pick this up until the one thing he says at the end, and I was like,
No,
what?
there's a conversation that you missed in the middle that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
He
Okay, I completely
comes
missed it.
out to the madam after meeting her for like 3 minutes, like
Yeah.
sits down and says like, I've never told anyone this. And I'm like, first of all,
Well,
like,
She's
I don't
trying
know.
to get him to sleep with the prostitute,
Right,
and he's
right.
like, no, I'm
Yeah.
good. And she's like, no, really, like you should do this. And he's like, I'm gay. You're like, wait, what?
Like, this can't be
There's
the first
none
time
I'm
he's
interested
been,
in.
like put in a situation with a woman. Like he says this is the first time I've told anyone this. And like, I don't know Old West politics, but I can't imagine they
You're
were
just
like
walking around telling
super
people that shit.
like welcoming. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
no.
you just came out to someone you just met? Like,
This is a progressive
Hey,
revision
yeah.
Western. That's
The witch was pretty accepting though. She's like, "Oh, you like the men."
Oh yeah, it was so weird.
Okay,
It was so
I'm yeah.
weird.
Okay, I missed that part, which made the just random thing he says at the end. I was like, what? what now?
Yeah, Eric was like, "Oh, cool."
To be fair,
I mean, good for you, dude. That's great.
Like the
I'm
entirety of the weight they put on that fact.
glad you're happy.
Oh my
Well,
God.
okay, so that's a big, huge problem this movie has, Casey. That's a really good like way to get into
Yeah.
like my biggest problem is like everything everyone else has said, but over and over, what this movie does is it sets up things that are theoretically to create plot tension and then immediately fizzles them out with no tension, or it really wants to have these really deep cathartic emotional moments that it earns not at all. Like this, the one robber dude who's in all black is just a garbage trash character for the whole fucking movie. He's an asshole. And then with zero redemption, then suddenly we go into like soft piano is playing. He's like, boy, you're Pappy, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wait a minute, we're redeeming this guy? Like he's done nothing through the entire movie to get us here. So it's like, and then there's the other info dump with the guy who's like leading the gang. That is like 15 minutes long. And it's a story. Literally, he could have told that entire story just by saying like, your dad never wanted you to rob stuff. He talks for
It
like
was
15
so
fucking
long.
minutes.
It legit, I joke around, but it was at least 10 minutes.
And
it
and
went
it's
on
it's
forever.
like this movie actually has the best thing of this movie is the music. The music in this movie is above the rest of the movie, but in these like forced emotional moments that they're not earning, the cheesiest ass piano comes in ever. It's literally just like like Lifetime Hallmark like piano moments in the back. And
Those are the
so-
only parts of the music that I like that resonated with me.
No,
So,
there's
like,
some
I
really
actually-
amazing like string
I-
stuff and like melodic like it's just really good.
I noticed that. I think at one point, John, I said to you, or at least I was thinking it like that. This music is way too good for like what's
It
actually
is.
happening in this movie.
And
I
there's
was-
there's a bunch of actors in the movie that I feel like are like a little like that Noah Segan dude is like kind of legit. Like he's starting to appear in real Hollywood stuff, which makes me
Pat
wonder.
Healy, who we've seen
Pat
in
Healy,
comics and
like it
stuff.
makes me wonder if this is a guy who just has friends who happen to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, hey, you guys, I've worked with
good
you on
on
other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm doing this thing. Do you want to help me out? Whatever. But it just creates a weird dynamic because the story and the direction are not always up to par of the pieces that are kind of on the board, and it's what leaves this feeling so weird. And Joe is dead on about how cheap it feels. It's like, and I think like, I think you could favorably say that a lot of it is just a symptom of having like, you know, champagne dreams on a beer budget, right? Because like they're trying to bite off a lot by really making this Old West thing feel authentic, and they're doing a ton of creature work, which probably was a ton of their budget. Although they're straight up ripping off the design from Witches, like straight up. It's like they might have
it
might
did,
as well
yeah,
come right out of that movie.
100%.
But like I was saying, Joe, it's like the old West town in like a shitty amusement park.
Mhm.
And then like, or where you get those photos taken like a carnival, like that's what it feels like. Everything is clean. If they're wearing a white shirt, it's like completely white. There's no like,
Yeah.
this is one of the few movies where I'm like, I wish people were dirtier. Like normally I feel like
Yeah.
people are too dirty and I don't like it. We
And I
needed
get
more
it.
dirt.
Like it's tough. Like you can't just build a Western set, right? Like then you
Yeah.
then have to like age it. So I get you've got budget constraints, but like when you can't do that, it's so noticeable. Like
Well,
and
and that's the thing with this movie is like
It
they
makes
raise
it-
the stakes on themselves, or they raise the difficulty level, I should say, on themselves.
yeah.
And it does show on that. Yeah.
It makes it like very hard to sustain any kind of immersion in the suspense or the plot because everything feels so thin and like not real,
Yeah.
like inauthentic.
Well, they got too big of an ensemble going on here with this Dalton gang too. They've got way too many people and too big
Characters-
names. I mean, like Pat Healy was in there as one of them, as Wiley, who we know from the Innkeepers, stuff like that. We've seen him a lot, and he was good. But there's just too many of them. They're split all over the place. So, like you said, with the guy that was dressed all in black, all of a sudden we get halfway through the second act, and he's our main point of information for the rest of the show, and he hasn't said anything to us for
No,
an
there's
hour.
characters that super disappear. So the best character in the movie by far is this like sassy robber lady that is very, very prominently featured in the first like 20-ish minutes. Did you guys recognize her?
Yeah. Well, I ended up like looking her up on IMDb. She's in. There was, now
So
I'm gonna forget.
she's
Yeah.
Saul Goodman's receptionist in
Yes.
Breaking
Yeah,
Bad,
yeah,
and she's really funny on that show. And she's just hamming it up. They're giving her great material to work with, and then she's just like gone for like
Yeah.
2/3 of the movie, which is a
Well,
bummer.
doesn't she? You see her get killed, don't you?
Yeah, you do, but
I'm
I'm just
trying to
saying. No,
remember.
that's what I'm just saying. But she does disappear first, then you see her get killed. But she's gone
Yeah.
for like, and I get it. It's like they're. I think that they wanted to have a woman in that ensemble, but then weren't maybe quite sure what to do with her at a brothel or something. I don't know, like or whatever. Maybe it was a scheduling thing, and she had a day. Like I don't know, but she's so funny, and she's
Your
such
day
a.
will be the brothel shoot day.
Yeah.
But she's just such a nice contrast to the rest of these characters who are trying to work with this kind of not up to par like emotional stuff that it's just fun to see her ham it up. So I was just bummed when she was gone, and then the rest of the movie
the-
becomes a slog. Like at some point there's 15 minutes left and you're like, what the fuck could possibly happen? And then you go into the final, like all this stuff with the double brother dead fake out is like, dude, fucking
There's a
get
lot,
out of
yeah.
here with that. Like the second time the brother came out and we're doing the like Spaceballs thing where Darth Helmet pretends to be her father and it's like an illusion, and then she goes to Joe, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like it's the, but like even that scene they don't milk it for any tension. It's like he comes out the first time and he sees his brother and you know he's a demon, whatever, any fucking idiot would. But then there's no drawn out like he doesn't know what to do. He's
No,
gonna go to him.
the brother's
It's 2
immediately
seconds.
like,
Somebody comes
"You're
out and
not in."
shoots him in the head, and that's every scene in this movie where there should be tension. The pin is pulled too soon, and there's just like not the right visual language to make it feel tense. Another really great example of this is when the leader guy gets shot. He's like, there's 2 dudes who are like his kind of lieutenants. Pat Healy's one of them. I don't know this other guy's name. This guy, I liked him for a lot of it, but when he starts getting like really messed up at the end, he's like screaming so ridiculous. I
Is
couldn't
this the
handle
like
it.
the guy
Who gives the
is
soliloquy
Dodd?
at the end? Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, this is just like it's like screenwriting 101 stuff. So when he tells these 2 guys, "I want this guy to be in charge," they very clearly kind of cut to Pat Healy, and Pat Healy gives a look, and you're like, "Okay, Pat Healy doesn't like this. There's some tension here." It is
Pat
not.
Healy doesn't like this.
It is not mentioned. I swear to Christ, it is not mentioned for 45 minutes. And when we come back to it, the 2 of them are sitting next to each other after a bunch of people have just died, and he goes, "Pat Healy, I shit you not." Pat Healy goes, you know, when he put you, I really understand why he put you in charge. I didn't like it at first, but this is pretty cool. And like, you're like, okay, what? You do that to make tension, not to just release it with no. It was so bizarre.
To be clear to the listener who hasn't watched the movie, they don't refer to him by his Christian
Yeah.
name.
And he doesn't refer to himself as Pat Healy.
Schnars, do you understand what I'm saying though? It's like it's
Pat
like
Healy was upset about this.
I feel like we're going through a lot of these like pretty established screenwriting motions, but just not sticking the landing on any of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
100%.
it's because they're trying to cram too many in there.
Yeah.
In one split script, if they could have cut it down to a couple and
I
concentrated,
mean,
on
by
them,
the
they would've been
time
okay.
by the time we're at the third like your pappy speech, I was just like, I can't do this anymore, guys.
No, Casey is 100% right because there is an element when you were talking about the size of the Dalton gang being an issue. I mean, look, it's all related. I mean, there's screenwriting issues up and down, but there is an element of like each of them getting a turn to sort of like do your pappy speech. You know?
That's
and,
what
like,
it is. It's
talk
like
about, you know, though I would say if I had to pick one, the character, the actor that I felt like pulled it off the best was Lester, who's the black member of the gang.
right, whose
who-
character has
It's
earned
like-
it the least.
Well,
But just
you
from
know
an
who that
acting,
was,
but
though?
from an acting standpoint, right, he's actually kind of hitting the mark.
yeah. So Stan Shaw's, he's like a pretty like well. I mean, I don't know, Casey, what reference you're gonna go to, but he's been in
Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Wait, he's in Monster Squad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the cops, right?
Yep.
Oh, weird.
He no, but to me, he was like, so he plays the like father figure basically to the 2 brothers. He's also kind of like the old man of the gang. He was at least like one that I don't know. He was almost like underused appropriately. Like he didn't have he didn't get himself in over his skis too many times. I don't know.
And I agree with you too. I think his info dump was the best delivered and everything, and it still felt like it had some weight. But we just heard the same info.
But
like
all
2
I
minutes
could
before.
and all I could think was like this isn't earned though, because what that dump is about redeeming that character, and you don't do that unless you bring me the steps in between, which they don't.
Well, I didn't feel like he needed to be redeemed. It was more like
I did. He's a shithead
Trying-
the whole movie.
no Lester.
Which one's Lester?
Dodd is the one you're talking.
That's
about.
the one I'm talking
Yeah.
about. No, okay. So the guy who gives. Okay, so you're talking about the guy who's put in charge. His name is
Yes.
Lester. Okay. The
Yeah.
problem with his thing is that, like I said, he takes 10 minutes to say something that could have been accomplished in 5 words, and you're so ready for the third act to just get moving at this point. And he's like, "Son, I got to tell you something." He's like, "Your pappy
You're
wasn't."
baby.
He's just like he goes into this, like he starts way too far early in the story. He's like, "He wasn't a very good rancher," and you're like, "Dude, will you get to the fucking point right now?
Yeah.
There are demon vampire ass witches outside."
He was born on a cold November
Yeah.
day.
Your
It's
daddy was your pappy
unreal.
was not a good farmer, but I was.
Yeah, it's like fucking.
my
What does
word.
this have to do with anything happening right now?
I
Well,
sold
and-
3
and it
bushels
was-
of corn at the market that year.
Well, there was such like a convoluted, like I'm like remembering because they show him at one point with his shirt off and he has like scars from being
Yes.
like beaten as a slave, and he talks about how the dad, like maybe I don't think was his master, but then like I don't know, the whole thing was. Yeah, you're right. It was even more convoluted than I'm remembering.
And a lot of it
It's
is just like,
I mean,
a lot of it is that, and I mean that's the character that could have given that speech, but it's just too long. Like you're trying to ramp up into the third act here. Just move it along. Let's move it along,
Yeah.
guys. Like this
Yeah.
movie is an hour 35. It feels like 2 hours long.
Oh yeah, no,
Yes.
for sure.
It was a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
Now,
So what else?
I think the
witches-
effects. I think
like the
the
fights with the witches. That
it-
was good stuff.
yeah, I think the effects are fantastic. I don't always think that the choreography is like amazing, but I did very much enjoy the creature design. There's a lot of great gore and there's some good stabbing.
The witch.
Yeah.
So in the interview that Jason did with the director, he references and I hadn't necessarily thought of it, but it makes a ton of sense. The Rodriguez movie with the vampires in
Yeah,
the,
from
Dust
Dust
Till
Till
Dawn.
Dawn.
yeah,
Definite,
from Dust Till Dawn.
definite vibe.
It's definitely like a dime store version of that. You know,
Yeah.
like I
No,
think
for sure.
you mentioned
Yeah.
the choreography arc, like these witches are just
don't
jumping
remember
out of
any
nowhere.
dance.
Dude, no, they're ninjas. They're not witches. They're ninjas.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene in which they're walking through the woods, and this witch is perched in a tree, and she does like a jump and a tuck and roll, and it's like,
Yeah.
are these ninjas or witches? Like, what are we doing here?
Well,
and
there was
I'm
another one in the brothel,
just-
like doing the Spidey crawl across the
Yes.
ceiling.
Yeah. Well, there is a moment when they first get to the brothel where you can see one sort of like in the background. There's like one of like if it had stayed like that, I probably I would have been there for it, a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
They're
it
a
gets-
little too like out in the open. Like it could have been a lot scarier and had a lot more tension if they were a little more. Because the whole movie too, and this lends to the cheap feel. I feel like it's overlit. Like everything is
Yeah.
so bright, and that's kind of what contributes to that kind of fake feel.
I'm not saying I've seen a lot of brothels, but it looked pretty bright for a brothel, right?
Yeah,
compare
you
to
don't want
modern day
you don't want a
movie
lot
where
of
I
light.
think it's going to be dark and
You don't want to be
I
able.
actually I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to be able to see your shame.
I disagree.
Yeah. So
The music
was a
is
movie.
the music is great, and like you know what else is great, John? The opening and closing title sequences are fantastic. They're like animated. It's like parchment scroll thing. Very cool.
yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember a lot of this.
All right. Would you recommend this, Joe?
No, I would not.
John?
I would not.
Casey?
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna round us out and say also no. Buy the soundtrack if it's available, which it probably won't be. Okay, guys, let's take a quick break.
Sam Goody.
That's gonna do it for the Pale Door. Let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
New Line Cinema sadly mourns the passing of a
He's a man obsessed with having the perfect family.
I'll do anything I can do to keep my family together.
But his obsession hides a deadly secret.
Never talk about your past.
We don't have a single lead. The guy is smart. We won't have anything to go on unless he does it again.
All we need is a martyr around here.
Shelley Hack and Terry O'Quinn
You're a very bad girl.
in a thrilling tale of suspense. The Stepfather.
Tuesday at 8 on KST Washington.
Hi, this is Doc Broccoli Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies, welcoming you to Bloody Good Horror.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
And we're back. Joe.
Hey, what's up, man?
You know what I forgot to do last week was put host on my top 10.
Oh, I just so happen to have your top 10 list in front of me. Would you like to hear what's on it right now?
Please, sir.
All right, so you have a full 10. You have Relic, The Invisible Man, The Rental, Come to Daddy,
Relic.
Becky, VFW, Underwater, Gretel and Hansel, The Invisible Man, and Extraordinary.
I'm going to call Host the #1 movie of 2020.
Oh, do you just want to bump everything down and
Yeah, what do I
lose
got? What do I got
Extraordinary?
at 10?
Yeah, you have a full 10.
What's 10?
Extraordinary.
What the fuck is literally you just named off 10 movies and I remembered 3
Yeah,
of them.
honestly, I can't remember any of them either.
Extraordinary
was
was like
Will
the
Forte.
British one.
Yeah, bump that one.
It was the what? What was it?
Will Forte, the
Forte
British
is
thing.
the guy that sang the who
Oh,
is the evil guy trying to get famous for his music.
oh yeah, that movie wasn't good. That shouldn't be on there to begin with. You're correct.
Bump it.
You got to bump it before you stump it.
Literally, I wish you could have like physically seen my gears turning when you said Relic. I had #1 and I was like, the fuck is Relic? Now I got it.
I can't remember any of
I'm
these,
with
to be
ya.
honest. VFW, I remember.
VFW, I remember. info@bloodygoodhorror.com. No fan mail this week. We do have a missive from Mr. Andy. He of BGH editor fame. Let's see. Shelton, Adam, and Luke have been covering the virtual edition of the Fantasia International Film Festival. That's 5th, John, in case you didn't know. We have over 15 reviews and counting. Check them out. Sophie reviewed the home invasion thriller The Owner, starring Maisie Williams. Natalie has a new Primal Scream about Mike Flanagan's Oculus. I believe that's where she looks at movies through a mental health lens. Is that right?
Correct.
Jason has been breaking down every episode of Lovecraft Country. I hear that's good. It's a good television program. And folks can check out Luke's review of Random Acts of Violence, which is now on Shudder. That's a movie, not just actual random acts of violence. BloodyGoodHorror.com. Also, if you want to see a live stream, patreon.com/BloodyGoodHorror. You get access to all the back episodes, Slack, and if you want, this live stream, and you could see this just batshit crazy picture of Joe as a kid that I have seen and known for years, and I still get tickled every time I see it.
There's actually 2. There's like that are pretty much the exact same thing from different years. One is with a Poison shirt, and
Yes,
this one's with
I'm familiar with that one as well.
the Beach Boys shirt. It was great. Great times. Great times at early days Epcot.
What do we got on Twitter, Joe?
Oh, we got a lot. We got some Instagram posts too. First up, we are on Twitter at BG Horror. We use the hashtag AskBGH if you want to send in a question about the movie or just life. And yeah. So we were off last week, so we got a few that came in while we were out. First up from @thekid198. Why does Joe always pick a beer from the quote unquote fine folks or the quote unquote good people at whatever brewery? I want to know about the beer. I want to know about the beer the absolute bastards are making.
Huh. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, if they're making a good beer, I've got to imagine they're semi decent people, you know. So I'm a glass half full.
also
kind of
when
guy.
you do something like this 4 million times, you just say the same things every week. I think that's really what it's about.
Exactly. Next up from @jhar0. You know what, Joe? You can go straight to hell for making me laugh while painting my soon-to-be-born daughter's nursery. Now there's paint on the ceiling, and I'll be damned if I'm going to fix it. #get a daughter. Yeah, Not a question. I forget. I asked him what he was laughing at, and I unfortunately
It was
don't
something
remember.
specifically on Twitter, but I can't remember what. Like he said it on Twitter or something. We were talking about the show, but I don't remember.
Yep. He did. Next up from @Fusiletoro. In a time and place without running water, sewers, electricity, air conditioning, and summer temperatures in the high 90s, what do you think it smelled like?
Poop. It smelled like poop.
Yeah. Just straight up.
Poop.
It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
It's
Probably not as good as Joe's clinical.
I was going to say, they didn't even have Speed Stick Original.
No.
I don't know what they were doing.
Well, they may have had original. They probably didn't have any of the other.
Yeah, that's fair.
So.
Oh, that was around. Yeah, that was around back then.
They didn't have any like clinical. Like people like me would have been fucked with our rashes and
clinical.
Next up from @Nuke Spook. Sorry I made you guys wish me luck on my paramedic certification 2 weeks ago, but I passed, so it worked.
Hey,
so
good
question.
job.
Should I be ambulance driver Roy, aka fake Jason Voorhees, this Halloween?
Yeah, hell yeah, why not?
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a real deep cut. I think it depends on your audience, like, and how much you want to explain yourself all night.
I don't think anyone's
talk
having
and
a
drive in the ambulance, or
Yeah, pull up in rent an ambulance. I like that, Casey. I like where you're going.
Next up, another one from going to stand by my last week's question. The Old West was a dirty and smelly place.
Yeah.
Oh, I probably should have just read that after I read the other one. Next up from our buddy Skizbot. Tuna fish sandwich, yay or nay?
Hell yeah, but you got to make it right. What do you put in tuna, Joe? What you got?
So I actually, the wife turned me onto this. So she makes it, mayo, little garlic powder, all that. But then she also dices up pickles.
Yes, that's
and
key.
puts it in there.
Clutch.
Like
Yeah, relish, right?
So I do. I put dill weed right in there. Onion powder, celery salt. Celery salt is like the key to some good tuna.
My dad taught me that one, yeah.
And I'll dice up some pickles and put them in there. And just way more mayo than you think you need. That's the amount. That's the amount you need.
Yeah, you can have dry. I also don't care for it when you first make it. Like I like it cold. Like,
interesting.
I need to put it in the fridge for a while.
I like it like in like a tuna melt kind of situation. Little ketchup.
What?
I do like a good tuna, like a tuna panini.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wouldn't you put ketchup on a tuna melt? No. I put ketchup on
I've
everything.
never had a tuna melt, honestly. I don't think so.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
Joe, it's
the whole idea
delightful.
doesn't do much for
John,
me.
have you?
I don't know that I've had one of those either.
What?
Real nice, guys.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Now, John, would you dip it in ketchup if you got one?
I wouldn't not dip it in
ketchup and mayo and cheese.
I feel like you could give me a lot of different sauces I might play around with here. You know, like
that sounded filthy.
Yeah.
No, you know, like the fancy ketchups that kind of have a little more kick to them, like almost not a cocktail sauce.
I just want some
donkey sauce, John.
I just want some Heinz, and I want a little ketchup.
I mean, I can get you some plain old regular ketchup. Sure, I can get down with that too.
I will buy hippie ketchup that does not have corn syrup in it, though. I will say that.
Oh yeah, we do that too. Yeah, I deserve better. My kids, I buy the regular for my kids, but me, like
Do you know what? Can we? Okay, as long as we're getting into this here, let's just talk about it. Ketchup in restaurants is not the same as ketchup you get in the grocery store. It's like a different consistency, and it makes me fucking batty because I can't figure out like where can I get this Like you get Heinz in a glass bottle, and it comes out. It's got this nice. It's like Heinz from or whatever. Any ketchup from a supermarket is like, it's fucking different, John. Where do I get that? Because and I know it's different because at some point I learned that the mayo in restaurants is also different. They buy what's called heavy mayo, which has extra egg yolks in it, and they do that because it stays shelf stable for longer. So what is the ketchup equivalent? If you work in a restaurant, please let me know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, none of that ketchup in those bottles is still Heinz 57, right? Like they're buying some sort of bulk ketchup and just filling those bottles up again.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of those times the bottles are sitting out all day, and then what's left, they'll dump it in the new bottle, yada yada yada.
It's fucking conspiracy, man.
Yeah.
I love ketchup so much. Oh my God.
It's good. Daniel Garms. I watched Color Out of Space last night and was very stoned. I had to turn it off at a certain part. Don't want to spoil anything because it was freaking out.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to stop watching a movie because you couldn't handle it?
Not because of like substances or anything. No, not really. I can make it through most shit. If I need to,
Yeah.
I'll just close my eyes. Like I'm not above it.
I think usually like if I'm drinking or smoking, like I know in advance, like I don't want to watch like something
Yeah.
different. Like
Yeah.
Friday night, the missus and I partook in the legal substances in Illinois, and turned on Love After Lockup. And 5 minutes in, I'm like, I can't fucking watch these
Yeah,
people like in
no.
this state of mind. Like this is not. This
It's
is
not
happy.
good. It's not good. No.
I've definitely had that experience. I can't put hands on exact. Like I don't know. Sometimes I'll wander down, the wrong road. It's been a while. So.
Ooh,
It's been a while. Next up from
Still
BJ Allen
remember.
writes, am I legally allowed to turn 35 next month if I still can't grow a beard? I was promised a beard, or at least the option to grow a beard. This is bullshit. I'm gonna sue.
Well, you and John should start a support group.
Yeah.
I feel you,
Yeah.
brother. I'm here for you.
Hairless
Yeah,
I
there's
can
a lot
bros.
send you some beard clippings and a bottle of glue if it helps.
I find too though, because I used to say that too, like, oh, I just can't grow a beard. I don't know, I can't grow a beard like that. But then like, I totally could. You got some people I think are just too afraid to try because you got to get through the weird scruff stage in the beginning, where you're like not sure if it's gonna fully grow in or not. Just try it. that's all I'm saying.
Are you challenging me? Because I'll tell you, I've tried a couple times and it does not go well.
John, by what I'm looking at right now, I assume you have not shaved since quarantine started. Like,
Schnars, don't play with my emotions. You know I want to see that more than literally anything.
Oh my god. I've done it a couple. I mean, I've made.
You
some
had
runs
that
at it,
Steve Zahn stash when you went on that business trip. That one, I still have a picture on my
Yeah.
desktop. It's right here.
see, like John, are you watching the playoffs? Like the Flyers are getting their asses kicked by the Islanders, and I think it's because you're not growing the playoff beard.
It's fair. That's
Also,
fair.
it's a trash city, so that's
I haven't been doing my part, Joe.
it's a
God, you're
garbage
right.
jam.
It hurts.
Next up from Einstein's Mittens, that's Rebecca 5 Elements Pilates.
You don't think
I'm
it's
always
Einstein?
amazed when like Pilates instructors and like fitness people follow us. Like it just I don't know why that
Joe,
blows
you
me.
run the 5K for
Yeah, that's
Bloody
true.
Good Horror. We're a fitness organization.
Oh, yeah.
To
we could
fitness
talk about that.
organization.
We support
There
fitness.
is no fitness currently happening this end. But John, you run marathons. You and Joe.
Joe,
Yeah,
many
support
more
fit
than,
needs
than
these
me.
chips in
yeah,
my
so-
mouth.
Yeah, I got 7 under my belt, John.
Damn,
Uh,
that's psychotic.
you must choose one. What do you choose? Jason Takes Manhattan or Jason X?
Manhattan all fucking day.
Manhattan.
Yeah, I
Really?
like
I would go
Jason X.
Like no matter what.
I
yeah.
like Jason X, but Jason Takes Manhattan is like chef's kiss level of 1980s time capsule. Like it does not get fucking like late 80s when everything was just parody of itself. It's fucking beautiful.
Ain't it Aaron Gray?
I guess
No, it has
to me,
Jansen Daggett. That's who it has in it.
Eric, like how when did this come out? When did Jason Takes
88.
Manhattan come out? Like
88.
so you were in theory you saw it later.
I saw it on
like-
VHS as a but I definitely like
Yeah.
remember seeing trailers like or commercials as a kid and being like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, that's the thing. Like, I was so excited when this movie came out. Like, I waited, and I was too young to go see it in the theater. So, like, my brother and I got it, like, literally when we found out it was coming on VHS. And then I got it home, and I was promised Jason in Manhattan. And what I got was an hour and 20 minutes of a fucking boat ride, and then 10 minutes of
Yeah.
not Manhattan.
I mean, I was in such a place like as
It was
a
more like Red Hook.
I was in a place
Yeah.
as a tween, like I was just so
Canada, John. It's fucking Canada.
honestly, I'm really thankful for this because I feel like if you grow up now and you're trying to get into horror, before you ever get into it, chances are you get online and just get kind of like influenced by a lot of other opinions on things. Whereas like I just was just going to the video store, dude, and just bringing shit home, and I didn't care what it was, and I loved every one of those Friday the 13th movies. You know what I mean? So I just love it. I love all of them. I'm into it.
I was promised one thing, and I was given another. That's.
I mean,
that's
okay.
how-
I mean, on that scale, like, yeah, Jason X is like Jason in space. You're getting exactly what you were promised. So I guess I
Yeah.
get that. It's
Joe
fun.
just likes
I-
truth in advertising. That's
Yeah,
what he's
like I don't want to be
saying.
fucking lied to.
It's fun. I enjoy Jason X a lot. So I get
Should
it.
have been called Jason Takes a Boat.
Yeah, but
to
the boat
something
stuff
that
is so much.
resembles
The
Manhattan.
boat stuff is a lot of fun, though. That's the thing.
Boat stuff.
Good stuff.
You know, I like boat stuff, Joe.
Chris Aleonte, what are some of the crew's favorite B-grade quality pleasure flicks? What's the Hellraiser 5 to your Get Out? For when I started reading this originally, I did
You're
not
like,
think.
what's a pleasure?
I know, we're
flick?
talking
Well,
about.
I
Okay,
know what
yeah.
a pleasure flick is, and that is
I
not
didn't-
what I thought Hellraiser 5 was.
No, me neither. God, I would have to think about that. I mean,
Yeah,
I talk about
we probably
Sleepaway Camp 2 a lot. Is like all time for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I would consider Chud in that category. Like Chud is a pretty B movie low
Oh,
budget
if
thing.
Chud is in that category, then that's definitely
Yeah.
there for
Yeah.
me.
Night
Yeah.
of
Oh, Basket Case.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yes.
That's a good one. Night of the Creeps probably isn't one of those, but
It's
it's,
pretty low
definitely
budget,
like
though.
B grade, and
Yeah.
it's like a yearly one, especially around this
you
time of
know,
year.
Brain Damage by Frank Henenlotter, like they did that, which
Cool.
they did last year on. That was so much fun. They did it on the last drive-in, and like
Yeah.
I guess it was this season, and a bunch of people on Slack, like we watch it together in the channel, and like a bunch of people had seen it. It was so much fun seeing people
Yeah.
react to that movie for the first time because it
That
is
movie is
bonkers.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane.
Last but not least, Donnie Davis. Speaking of Joe Bob, did you all catch the Joe Bob coverage of Victor Crowley?
I did
Watched
not.
about half of it.
Yeah, I kind of got sidetracked and didn't, but it's on my list for sure. It looked fun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've seen the movie.
The
Yeah,
movie is
it-
hot trash.
Straight
Yeah,
garbage.
it's
But
real
it did
bad,
look cool. Like they
so-
had all the cast on there was like they were doing a sleepover thing. They were all in pajamas, and from what I heard,
Yeah.
it was like a lot of fun just from the Joe Bob standpoint. So
Yeah, they had Kane Hodder was on there and Felissa Rose and
they did something
Adam.
else. What was the other thing? They did another like B movie in between the two Hatchet movies. I'm trying to think of what it was. Something fun. Oh, Slumber Party Massacre 2 they did in between.
Yeah.
Really? I fell asleep. That's it for tweets. Do we want to take a look at InstaTwats?
Please. Oh God, no. I should have waited before I answered.
I'll just skim through. First of all, I want to thank our listeners because
No, I want to not thank our listeners for exactly what you're about to thank them for.
I want to say like 50% of this week's questions are Real Housewives related.
Yeah, and they're about to learn that gives us zero fucking content for the show because Joe's the only one that can talk about it.
I think it gives content that people want to hear because it's what I can comment on. I'll probably skip over most of those, but we got one that said pandas or koalas.
Pandas. Don't koalas get like weird like koala AIDS or something? They get like syphilis or something crazy? There's some like weird sexually transmitted
koalas
disease.
have a lot of problems.
There's some weird sexually transmitted disease that koalas can like pass to humans or something like that.
Wait, pandas look like they're running around their jammies.
Are you victim blaming the koalas?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
Okay,
Don't
John.
slut shame
Okay, John.
koalas. Like this sounds like something made up by the shadow people. Bags of soup. What kind of food goes best with pumpkin beer?
Ah, that's a good question.
I mean, anything really, right?
I was gonna say, well, for me,
But so
French fries
something-
goes the best with beer.
But I think
kind of
you
beer,
want
so,
something heavy. Like you want something heavy and strong, like a burger and fries, because then you get the pumpkin's gonna cut through it, and it's gonna be a good like palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Like if you ate something too light or something with that, it's just gonna completely overpower whatever you're eating.
I think it depends on the pumpkin beer too. Like if like Pumpkin, which is always my go-to,
It's just so
that's
intense.
a delicious like dessert beer. Like I would never drink that with a burger. Like that's gonna be disgusting.
Yeah, because it's so
I don't
many
know, my answer would
competing.
be burger for any
It's
beer.
so many competing flavors. I think I get you with that, Joe. You almost want that
Yeah.
on an empty stomach. Like you want to enjoy it as a meal itself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like that beer is dessert. Like you have dinner
yeah.
and then you can have that beer as dessert.
Interesting.
So you don't have to eat any food with your beer. It's liquid bread, like literally.
Just drink. Don't worry about the food.
You don't want to like dull that alcohol with food. Let's see. It's September. Are you decorating for Halloween this week?
Not yet.
Yeah.
No, we're out of town, but legit, next weekend when we're back, like I'm 100% going all out.
For me, it's
I
probably
did
going to
get
be
a
until...
giant, like 4 foot tall Audrey 2 in a pot.
Dude.
From Michael's this week.
Oh,
It's
that's
pretty
awesome.
sweet.
That's
Very
fucking
cool.
dope. I need
That's
to see
pretty
that.
wild,
That
yeah.
sounds awesome. Is it like blow up?
No, it's in like an actual pot with a stick, and then it's got a big plastic
Because
Audrey 2 head.
I fucking hate those cheesy, just like
The
things
inflatable,
you just
right?
inflatable because they're just kind of.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of lazy. But
Yeah,
like
yeah, those
that would
piss
be
me off.
cool. An Audrey one would be really fucking. Just like a 10-foot tall in your front yard. That would be sick.
Like the thing that bothers me about those is like
And they're
there's zero
loud,
effort. Like
and
you
there's
just
no
go,
effort,
you
yeah.
throw it in the middle of the yard, and you turn it on. That being said, we do have one like small one that like fits in the corner.
It's just they're never gonna give you land or give you that feeling like warm and fuzzy Halloween feeling driving by the same way as someone's house that's been like meticulously decorated.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I know a lot of people now, especially on Christmas, like that's all they do. There's no lights in the house.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Here's
Like you throw
Santa,
6 of those in your yard.
Here's
and,
Santa on a
that's it.
motorcycle in the middle of the yard, and that's it.
You did fucking 0 effort.
You did nothing. Yeah.
Thoughts on the news of Scream 5?
Just let it go, bro.
I didn't hear about it till today.
I didn't hear about it until this person asked the question.
I actually love Scream 4, and it's way better than it has any right to be. But like, just let it go.
What are the key differences between a wizard and a warlock? I feel like we need CC for this one specifically, but
I feel like
my answer was hats. Like I assume
hats.
like wizards wear hats.
But when
right?
I hear wizard, I think benevolent, and I don't think that one.
Yeah, that was going to be my go-to. It's sort of like warlock is a little more evil connotation to it, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
Depends. I'm in a major D&D kick as of late this summer, and a warlock in that has a planar deity that it's pledged itself to get its power.
Can you do me a favor and
there you go.
Can you do me a favor and push your glasses up, please?
Ask and answered. You're welcome.
I was listening to that and I feel like my hymen just grew back.
Hey, you started playing D&D again before I did, Joe.
That's true. What's the worst rom-com you've ever sat through?
There's some movie. I wish I could remember the name of it. Is it How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? With it's like Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, yeah.
That's real.
Mine actually was a Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie. It was like Don Juan or something.
Oh yeah.
So
Don
fucking
Juan
bad.
DeMarco.
It was so bad.
No, it's what is it? No,
that's-
Don
it's
John.
Don John.
John.
Yeah.
Right.
It was terrible. With ScoJo's in there, right?
I
don't remember that being that bad.
It was unwatchable.
I have actually managed to avoid rom-coms mostly for most of my life, and I now never plan to watch one again. So I think I'm doing pretty good.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I haven't seen a rom-com in.
It's been a long time. Like
10,
yeah.
Yes.
I'm kind of
You know what I
where
can
I'm
tell
like,
you that I
I'm
watched
okay with them.
reluctantly and turned out it was fantastic was Mamma Mia.
Oh,
Joe,
here we go again.
Joe, you telling me you're okay with rom-coms is like the least surprising thing to me ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't. You just get to an age. Like I love Hallmark movies.
I feel
so
like you could just be put on a couch and anything could be put on in front of you, and you're just like, cool.
Yeah, like I
Enjoy it.
feel like you get to a certain age, and that's.
I'm not
pretty
there. I
much
mean, I'm
where you
younger
are.
than you, but I don't see
Joe.
myself getting there.
As a quick aside, have you seen Hallmark's new streaming service?
Oh, we're members. We actually got it for my sister-in-law for Christmas last year, but we
So-
used the login. Yeah.
They don't have a client for Roku yet, for the Roku TV, so we haven't signed up yet. But
No.
there's a lot of good witch in my future.
There's like they're just happy movies. Like I don't understand why anyone would make fun of them. We watched, the wife and I actually watched one over the weekend with Kevin Hart, and I wish I could remember. It's like Think Like a Man or something. Oh,
Yeah. I think
This
I know what you're
movie
talking about.
is fucking batshit. It's called Think Like a Man, and they made Think Like a Man 2. And the entire premise is that what's his name, who hosts the Family Feud now? What's the guy's name with the big suits?
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey. So the premise is Steve Harvey writes a self-help book for women about how to like land your right man and like
And
you
he's
know
the worst. He's the
So
fucking
we
worst.
watched this entire thing. Turns out it's a real fucking book that Steve Harvey wrote.
Yeah.
Oh no!
He is,
It is.
like the worst.
Insane.
So you
yeah.
don't recommend the movie, is what you're saying?
The movie was great. We literally, I have part 2 like on hold at the library right now.
Joe, what the fuck? Are you
all right.
joking? Was that a joke?
No, 100% true. Like it was literally, I was like making fun of it as we were watching it, and then we were like a half an hour in, and Leslie's like, "You really like this?" I'm like, "I think I do. Like, I think I want to hang out with these guys." Is magic real? That was a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you
I'm
believe
gonna
it.
go now.
Yeah. I think if you wish hard enough, John. You ever been to Epcot Center, John? And then, Michael Myers versus Jason. Who do you pick?
Are we talking about preference or a fight?
Your call. No, it doesn't specify.
I think fight is you got to go with Jason.
Yeah, I think I'm going.
But
I
if
think I'm
it's
gonna go Jason
it's
either way.
preference,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
I might still go Jason if it's preference. I mean, I love both of them, but it's like picking between my children.
Yeah, it depends too if it's Michael before the runes happen or after the runes happen.
It's gotten a little complicated there for old Michael.
I know.
And then a majority of these are Real Housewives related, so I won't bother.
I'll give you one, Joe. How's that?
Oh fuck. I don't even know where to go. So Dorinda Medley recently announced that she's leaving. So we did get a couple
That
questions
cannot be a real person's name.
Yeah, Dorinda. She's fun. She's on New York. She's got a bit of a drinking problem. She gets like real like verbally abusive. But you know, she's the only one that brings the drama and can stand up to Ramona, Eric.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna miss her. And
So
we're
she's
all very sad she's gone.
She's a balance to Ramona. Now she's getting kicked off the show or what?
So that's the thing. Like, there's rumors that she was kicked off. There's rumors that she quit. Whatever it is, she's gone. So,
okay,
who knows?
Now, there was another question too about Kyle Richards, and she's the one who she's the one who's in the new Halloween, right? Because she played the original girl that.
Kyle Richards was the girl that Jamie Lee Curtis was babysitting in the original one.
In other words, this housewife was actually the actress who played that little girl in the 70s.
Her and her sister, what the fuck, Kim Richards. Kim Richards has been in a ton of like Disney movies. She was in Escape from Witch Mountain. She was in
Watcher in the Woods.
Yes, yeah. So they're both like, we've actually watched movies of theirs.
Did we ever do that? Didn't
we? Did, yeah. So Kyle Richards was asked to reprise her role in the new Halloween movie, and because of that, she had bangs, which looked ridiculous. But she's also on the Beverly Hills Housewife show with these bangs, and like people are commenting on the bangs.
Good actress?
No, she's not an actress. I mean, she was a child actress, but she hasn't done anything since I don't know when. Like, she's popped up and stuff. I mean, I don't have her IMDb in front of me.
And like, really, we're not going to just bring Paul Rudd back to play Tommy Doyle?
I feel like getting Paul Rudd might be a little bit more of a stretch than getting
Kyle
Richards.
John, they put Ham Lady in the first one. What? Is it that much of a stretch?
Yo, again, I say getting Ham Lady versus Paul Rudd. Different universe.
Well, John, let's not get confused. They did not get the original Ham Lady because the original Ham Lady's been fucking dead for a long time.
Yeah, she probably died on the set.
Oh, Jesus. Come on.
So the funny thing is, like, Kyle Richards was like petitioning herself on Instagram to like be in the last Halloween movie. So I think now that they did this one, I'm skimming through her acting. I mean, she's been on like a bunch of Days of Our Lives. Oh, she was on ER for like a good amount of time.
Oh, okay, so she's done some acting. That's good.
So yeah,
I don't want to just write her off. It's just I find that whole thing interesting to me.
Yeah, she was on Little House on the Prairie. Like,
that's right.
She's not like working constantly, but like the stuff she's been in has been like fairly well.
She's been in front of a camera since she was like 8 or whatever that was. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing. So anyway, the question was, do you think that Kyle had to get bangs for the movie, or she chose to? And my response was like, I think she had to get it for the movie, but then she decided to keep them and be on the Housewife show. So
I'm a fan of a good bang, Joe. I don't know if you know.
I don't mind. Well, I love a good bang, Eric. But hey, sex.
John, I would like to state again for the record that I have never been as excited watching a movie for the show as when fucking Ham Lady showed up in Halloween. I may have exclaimed out loud in the theater.
I get it.
I think we're done here.
Okay.
I think the point of like this week's episode is like, let your Real Housewives questions also flow into the Ask BGH questions on Twitter. Like, don't just keep them to Instagram.
I would also say, let's make a new rule. For every Real Housewives question you send in, you have to send in a real one that the rest of us can actually answer. How's that?
I mean, these are real questions you could answer. Like, we could get John's wife on, and like her and I could talk about this for hours.
Info@bloodygoodhorror.com. That's the email address. We're also on Twitter. Spell out the whole name. Our Twitter is BG Horror. Instagram, spell out the whole name.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. I think we got another new upcoming movie next week. What's the name of this? Well, let's not say it because I'm not positive we got it yet.
It's The Owners.
The Owners. That's right.
Yeah.
Which is
I think we're
starting to kick around out there.
I believe it might have come out this week. Like, I think it's actually available now. So we we're playing a little catch up.
All right. So there it is.
I believe it's pronounced the Oneaters.
Yes.
I think that's the.
Oneaters. All right, guys.
That's that thing you do reference, John.
That's gonna do it for the Pale Door. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll talk to you next week.
See yous.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.